right, so what I'm gonna do in this video is share with you actual negative feedback that we've gotten from paying customers, people who have invested their money with us and left unhappy, and why that is and what they actually said. So peeling back the curtain here and just showing you straight up, what did people say when they were unhappy with our service? The other thing I'm gonna be doing is just answering the question of, are our reviews real? Okay, so that one's a little bit easier. I'll talk about that first. Are our reviews real? Short answer is yes, our reviews are real. If you Google Default Kings reviews, you're gonna find all of our reviews on verifiedreviews.com. This is a platform that requires us to verify the identity of reviewers, which means that all the people who are leaving reviews here, actual customers who have invested their money with us. Now you are going to see that we have 5 stars on average. We have 1 4-star review from Gary L. He says he enjoyed the program, built consistency, positive habits that have become default actions. He would recommend the program for any man trying to lose weight, gain energy, be a better man for the people in his life. And Gary, who is an awesome guy, loved working with Gary. He ended up going from 262 to 223 at the lowest and maintained this about 220-ish, 225-ish range. And this is honestly more impressive to me. This consistency is keeping the weight off, right? But yes, long story short, our reviews are all real. But keep in mind, again, since we are verifying the identity of all of the people who are leaving reviews, we're not sending out these review requests to people who had a negative experience with us. We're not having somebody who goes through with it and says, hey man, I absolutely hate you guys suck. Really hated my experience, and saying, dude, sweet man, please leave us a review. We've sent these review requests to people who we had a pretty good idea were gonna leave us positive reviews. So that is that. Next thing here is negative feedback for Default Kings, negative reviews. So I just wanna, again, Google this for you on your behalf. If you Google Default Kings Fitness negative reviews, it's gonna be really difficult to find public negative reviews on us. Which is pretty interesting. Default Kings Fitness negative reviews. If we go AI mode, Default Kings Fitness negative reviews, so it can kind of do the research for us. It's going to say, based on provided search results, there's very little negative feedback directly available regarding Default Kings. The vast majority of customer reviews found are highly positive, highlighting aspects such as weight loss, all this stuff. Potential areas that could be perceived negatively by some based on reviews that highlight the positive aspects. It requires dedication and effort. One review, while positive, notes that it's a simple plan but requires individuals to put in the work. This could be seen as a challenge by those seeking a quick fix. Christian-centered approach. While highly praised by many, the program's explicitly Christian focus might not align with everyone's beliefs or preferences, which totally makes sense. Important note, the search results do not include any Better Business Bureau complaints for Default Kings Fitness, but they do for another unrelated chain, Default Kings negative reviews. Even just to take this a step further, just so you can really see. And then I'm going to share with you some actual negative reviews. We do have negative reviews, just none that you'll be able to really find publicly. But if I say, I'm just going to use the deep research tool, run deep research, find me any and all negative feedback or reviews for Default Kings Fitness LLC. Give me a hailed report on what you find. I'm just gonna go ahead and click initiate here. I am a potential customer considering investing fund for Default Kings Fit coaching and want to understand my risk as well as negative feedback from customer engaged in. Okay, let's see here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pause the recording so that it does the deep research, and then we'll pop back on when the research is done. And then once we do this deep research report, I'll actually show you some of those negative reviews, because we do have some negative reviews, and I just want to show them to you so you have full context, really, of what negative experience have been in people working with us. But we'll let ChatGPT do the deep research project, and then we'll come back. Okay, that actually took way longer than I expected, but understood. I'll gather any and all public available negative feedback, complaints, critical reviews about Default Kings, as well as Gabe customer complaints on reviews, forum discussions, and other relevant insights to inform your decision as a potential investor. I'll return a detailed report summarizing any potential risks on this feedback. So negative feedback and complaints for Default Kings Fitness LLC and Joey Heim. Overview and context. Default Kings Fitness LLC is a faith-based online fitness coaching company co-founded by Gabe Plugas and Joey Oheim. The user is considering investing in their coaching services and seeks due diligence on any negative feedback, complaints, or critical reviews about the company and the founders. We research customer reviews on various platforms, Reddit, Trustpilot, Better Business Bureau, Google, etc., and any public comments. Summary and findings. Public available reviews of Default Kings are overwhelmingly positive, with the company touting a 4.9 out of 5 star rating from dozens of clients' testimonials. Negative feedback or complaints are scarce and appear to be isolated cases. Below, we detail the findings for the company as a whole, as well as the individuals Gabe and Joey, including critical comments. Default Kings Fitness LLC customer complaints and critical feedback. Positive reviews dominating Default Kings 80+ client reviews. I'm just going to skip the positive. Okay, so here is one of the negative things. Lack of independent reviews. We found no listings on Trust or Better Business Bureau. Specifically for Default Kings, the Facebook page shows no public reviews and Google Maps does not have a profile for the company. This means most available feedback comes from their own curated sources. Yep, like we covered before. While those reviews appear genuine, they all use a verified review service. They have reviews on independent consumer sites means that there is little external scrutiny visible, which is why I'm going to show you the actual negative scrutiny from people who have been on the inside. This could be due to the company being relatively new or because clients simply haven't posted on these platforms. I'm going to keep going here. Isolated complaint, recurring charges. One notable complaint we uncovered was an isolated incident involving billing on a legal advice Q&A forum 2020. 76-year-old customer described paying for a diet and exercise program through Fitness Pay 24 and then reading that it is a scam. She felt pressured into signing up for it. I was alarmed to discover his recurring monthly charge, which she hadn't expected. In a follow-up, it looks like they're called Default Kings, indicating the program in question was Default Kings. She sought help to cancel the refund immediately. A lawyer advised her that the U.S. law allows a 3-day cancellation window for such contracts and suggested she request a refund right away and if refused to dispute the charge with her credit card company. This case suggests a few potential issues: high-pressure sales tactics and unclear billing terms, at least for that customer. It's important to note that this appears to be one person's experience and was resolved through cancellation advice. We did not find other reports of billing disputes or scams associated with Default Kings, so this could be an outlier. However, it flags that prospective clients should read the contract terms carefully. Default Kings does offer a money-back guarantee, but it is contingent on completing specific program tasks, and they reserve the right to enforce those conditions. I guess that is interesting. To be quite frank with you, I don't remember what this case is. It seems like there must have been some confusion or miscommunication depending on how we ran the billing. I know it might be a little bit confusing that a 76-year-old woman worked with us. Again, to be frank, I don't remember the details of this case from 2020. It's 2025 at the beginning of this recording. It's possible that we worked with a 76-year-old woman at some point. And again, don't fully remember the details of this case, but it seems like it was resolved. And that is why we want to be completely clear with how we handle billing. If you have any questions on how we handle billing now, please watch the financial investment and structure video so that there's no miscommunication or confusion on how we handle billing at Default. And also in terms of addressing the contracts with our refund policy, we do have a refund policy in place. If you want more details on refund requests that we've gotten, chargebacks and disputes that we've gotten, please watch the video that Joey covers. It's titled, "What if this doesn't work for me?" There's a lot here. Ultimately, it says no recurring pattern of complaints. It does touch on initial skepticism before 2023. Some prospects literally asking, is this a scam? Which again, if you still think this is a scam, then please watch the Is This a Scam video. Seems like that was mainly because of our online presence being limited, which we've been proactively fixing by making sure that we're increasing our visibility as well as putting out videos like the Is This a Scam video. High ticket coaching programs often use assertive sales tactics, which can lead some feeling uneasy. There's no evidence that this is a systemic problem at Default Kings, but potential customers should be prepared for a structured sales call and ensure they understand the financial commitment, whether it's a one-time fee or monthly billing. So again, all financial investment and structure is broken down in that video just for complete clarity. And to be totally frank with you, there have definitely been conversations that we've had with people who are inquiring about joining Default Kings, where myself or Joey have lovingly encouraged somebody to take action if we truly believe that that was the best thing to do for it. We've had some clients who do interviews with us live where after they've actually done the service with us, they've thanked us for the quote unquote hard close. Obviously, every single conversation is different, but if everything makes sense for you, you have all your questions answered, you want to move forward and implement with our company, and our team members genuinely feel like they can help you, then of course they're going to strongly encourage you to take action. Obviously, we have a self-interest in you investing with our business, but ultimately that decision is totally you. It's funny. Okay, now going into Gabe Pluga's reputation and feedback. Mostly positives here. It says here that my social media presence online can sometimes attract skepticism due to my strong claims. For example, I made a post saying that Big Shoe is scamming you, talking about the risks of not wearing the proper footwear. It says, however, this is more of a social media moment than a serious complaint. Oh man, if they're offended by the Big Shoe post, then there's a lot more that you're gonna find on my social media that can be potentially considered offensive by most of the population. So if you're concerned about that, please look me up on social media. If I hurt your feelings, we're probably just not a good fit to work together. Credibility on the credibility front, Gabe Pluguez leverages social proof heavily. Lots of transformation stories, no evidence of personal, financial, or legal issues associated with Gabe. Media coverage of him is generally in the context of fitness, entrepreneurship, podcasts with no negative slant. Joey, no direct complaints with Joey. Reviews frequently mention Joey in a positive context. Clients praise the conversation that sold them on the program. This is so good and so accurate. Oh my gosh. Public presence. Joey's public persona is slightly less flashy than Gabe. He shares fitness tips and often tweets about discipline, faith, and debunking fitness myths. We do not see any public controversies around Joey. His content might be provocative in phrasing, but like Gabe's, aims to counter industry gimmicks with a more straightforward approach. Yeah, I'm a little bit more aggressive than Joey on the social media side. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. A reputation outside of client results, Joey's been featured in entrepreneurial podcasts and articles highlighting Default King's growth, noting their revenue, number of clients that they've coached. In all, no negative feedback specifically to Joey Joheim was found. He appears to be well regarded by clients and maintains a professional image. Any potential negatives, high pressure sales, associated with the business's overall approach rather than Joey personally. Joey's role in sales was highlighted by one review. A client said skeptical at first, but after the conversation with Joey sold, implying he was persuasive, but ultimately delivered on the promises. There's no pattern of complaints with him overselling or under-delivering. That's great. Yeah, that is great. So yeah, totally. Again, we're gonna strongly encourage you to make the best decision for you, for sure. But ultimately in every interaction that we have, the goal is to serve you. And then kind of going into summaries here. After thorough research, there is little evidence of widespread negative feedback or recurrent complaints against Default Kings LLC, Gabe Blugas, or Joey Joheim. The company's clients predominantly report positive experiences and results in no public patterns of issues like fraud, program failure, misconduct was found. The cautionary notes: be mindful of high energy sales approach and fully understand the terms. Watch the financial investment video and ask any questions that you have to us on our team when you have a conversation with us, especially regarding payments and refunds before investing. And in case you did not watch Joey's What Happens If This Doesn't Work, where he covers our refund policy in depth, I'm just going to share that with you here. Our refund policy says this: at the conclusion of the service period listed in the agreement, Default Kings offers a money back guarantee that includes a refund up to but not in excess of total agreed upon amount listed at the bottom of this document. If the client is not satisfied with the results, so long as they upheld the following list of client responsibilities: client completes 75% or more of prescribed workouts and completes 75% of prescribed nutrition goals, complete all the video modules and respond to Default Kings representatives within 48 hours throughout the entirety of the service period listed in this agreement. So don't ghost us and do the work, right? The signature below confirms client's understanding that DK cannot guarantee success without the client's responsibilities being completed, and if any responsibilities are not upheld, they are not eligible for a refund, making this purchase final. So again, we have that there, of course, to protect us from people who just sign up, want to get information, don't actually do the program, and request a refund. Also, that does keep you accountable as the user. Yet if you want any more details on our refund policy or stories of people who have actually requested refunds or charged back with us, please watch Joe What Happens If This Doesn't Work video. It says the isolated complaint, skepticism, and one refund request seem to be exceptions rather than the rule. Overall, Default Kings and its founders maintain a strong reputation with a very high satisfaction rate reported by customers, and any potential risks appear to be usual ones inherent with expensive coaching programs. Financial commitment and personal effort required, rather than any malicious practice. All right, now I actually want to show you some negative reviews that ChatGPT wouldn't be able to find it, but that I'll just show you, honestly, from experience that we've had working with people. So here is one person who requested a refund from us. He actually messaged Joey. This is February 6th of 2025. It says, "Good morning, Joey. While I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, but based on my experience thus far, specifically the call today, I would like to request a refund and withdrawal from the program. I don't exactly feel welcome, and it is for that reason that I wish to request a refund." Now, full transparency here, this was my fault. And what happened in this situation is this person was present on a Bible study that I was leading. And on that Bible study, we opened up a really sensitive subject on how Christians should view homosexuality. Now, at Default Kings, we believe the Bible is the ultimate authority on our worldview, on our politics, obviously on how we honor our bodies, quite literally just every single decision that we make. And the Bible does make it clear that homosexuality is a sin. And although in that Bible study, the actual main subject at hand was correcting my own judgment against people who practice homosexuality and calling myself to a higher standard of loving all people who struggle with any sin with the same love that Jesus would have for them, I did not back down from the fact that I do believe homosexuality is a sin. And this customer was gay. You can see he's posing, making a heart here in this profile picture with his partner, and he requested a refund. Now, another example of somebody who did request a refund with us was one of our clients, David. So David actually messaged us right at the end of this program. He said, "Gentlemen, Gabe, Joey, and Alex, I'm questioning my ability to continue this program. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, life-changing, but my core belief system doesn't seem to align with yours." Gabe spoke in one session about how it's a group of men with wide backgrounds and thought beliefs. But as someone who has family and some best friends who are LGBTQ and who I support fully, my beliefs don't align with yours. And that's okay. I didn't really think it would be a problem, but as Gabe shared on Twitter this weekend, you specifically don't do business with something about blue hair woke individuals. It made me realize, I was aggressive on Twitter. It made me realize that it's time I took an actual stand. Ironically, it's the lessons for DK that have helped me understand this, and that for far too long, all I have done is stand by and vote my conscience privately, occasionally like a Facebook post or a Twitter post, and maybe share something occasionally. As we've been talking about having and creating those deep conversations, it's my friends who are gay or lesbian where those deep conversations actually happen, where we can say, I love you to each other, and weirdly enough, not be gay. I had a long conversation with my pastor about this, actually between Sunday and yesterday. And the way we study and interpret the Bible, its teaching is different from you and how you study and interpret it. And that's okay. We should be able to have differences of opinions and beliefs, but the manner of how you chose to run your business and do business with, I can't overlook that part. Because I feel as if you are speaking directly at me. There are so many core principles that you teach that while our common sense are clearly difficult to follow otherwise, there would be no need for DK. Call it blue-haired liberalism or woke or whatever, but for me, love is love. And it took joining Default Kings to actually have the spine to actually do or say something, which is the irony of ironies. So yeah, a really, really interesting message that we got from David, and sharing that he learned to have confidence, to stand up for what he believed. And a lot of that came from his work with us. And David, again, let's see here, I'll have to go back in the timeline of when this happened, but he actually ended up going from 228 to 260 in his 12 weeks working with us, which is awesome. But honestly, I think this is actually a great moment for me to just get a bit more personal with you guys and share that really every single thing we do, even the call to honor our bodies, how we run our business, comes from wanting to live in alignment with who God created us to be. And I personally do think it is extremely difficult to read the Bible and not view homosexuality as a sin. The same way I think it's extremely difficult to read the Bible and not see gluttony or sloth as a sin. And so I'm going to call that out when necessary. And is it 100% possible that maybe I haven't communicated these things lovingly in the best way, or even in the way that Jesus would have, and maybe come across as judgmental, maybe definitely with some language using that Twitter post where I was saying we don't do business with blue-haired, woke liberals. Yeah, that's 100% possible. That is something that I'm continuing to learn more and more about, as I walk in my own journey with Christ. To be frank, again, if it is a deal breaker for you that we believe the Bible and we do believe homosexuality is a sin, then definitely not going to make sense for us to work together. Quite frankly, one of the reasons I want to get Christian men strong and healthy is so we can bring down the demonic systems of this world that are perverting and trying to mutilate our children. Quite frankly, if you're asking me what I honestly believe, that's one of the reasons why I want to get you guys strong and healthy. I think the LGBTQ movement is destructive. And I absolutely do think that it needs to be burned to the ground. I don't think it will, because we've read Revelation, but I want to strengthen Christian men so that this movement stops victimizing children. That is my personal belief. I also do believe that we need to love people who struggle with all sins, including people who struggle with gluttony and sloth. So that's possible that I may communicate a bit harshly about my beliefs sometimes. Again, if that's too much of a deal breaker for you, God bless you, wish you the best. David decided to not continue working with us after his initial 12-week term. And, I do wish him the best in all that he does. So that is that. I mean, if you got this far, I'd imagine you're probably pretty aligned with my beliefs. And I imagine that, it's not that much of a deal breaker, I guess. But honestly, if you're curious, you can look up the Bible study where I talked about this. It was in February 26, 2025. And so we have that in our video module of Vault. You can look up that exact Bible study. Make up your own opinions. There's one part of me that wants to say how my opinion on the LGBTQ movement has anything to do with health and fitness. I don't know. But honestly, I do see it because, again, every single decision that we make, every word that we communicate to you, specifically from the context of honoring your bodies and stewarding the vehicle that God gave you, is going to come from our belief system. It's going to come from us being Christians and viewing the Word of God as the ultimate authority. And I believe that the Word of God should govern how we take care of our bodies and also how we should do every single other thing in life. So yeah, that is that. Our reviews real and our actual negative reviews. Hope this was insightful.